Velocity Frequent Flyer currently have a 15% bonus point transfer when you transfer your points into their Velocity Frequent Flyer program. On surface level, it seems like a great deal and you're essentially getting points for free, but in today's video, I'm going to go in depth explaining the good and the bad so you can determine if it's actually suited for you. So with that in mind, let's get straight into the video. To begin, I'm going to give you a bit of a summary as to what the offer actually is. So Velocity right now are offering 15% bonus points when you transfer your points from Amex into the Velocity Frequent Flyer program. This promo is running for the entire month of May, so you've got a few weeks to decide if it's worthwhile. To give you an example, if you were to transfer 100,000 Amex points into your Velocity Frequent Flyer account, you would typically get 50,000 Velocity points, because the current conversion rate is 2 Amex points for every 1 Velocity point. But with the promo that's running for the month of May, you will get 15% extra points, meaning instead of 50,000 Velocity points, you're going to get 57,500 Velocity points. The good news is when you make this transfer, that transfer is pretty much instant from Amex to Velocity. Usually only takes a couple of minutes. And on the surface level, it does sound like a good deal because you are getting extra points for essentially doing nothing. Now, this isn't the first time that Velocity have had a promo like this. These sort of promos will typically run a few times every single year. I think the last one they did was a few months ago, and it was a 10% bonus promo. So if you don't have any Amex points right now, don't stress, you probably will get another chance at this sometime this year. These promos that run a few times every single year are on the lower end about 10% bonus points, and on the higher end up to about 20% bonus points. So the current promo of 15% is a pretty good deal. Velocity seem to be a lot more generous with these type of promos, as Qantas very rarely have these point transfer bonuses. So now that we understand what the promo offer is and how frequently we can expect these sort of deals, let's talk about some of the good things. We'll start with the most obvious fact, and that is that you're essentially getting bonus points for free for doing almost nothing. For you to make that transfer, if you were going to do that transfer anyway, and you're really doing no extra work and you're getting points you otherwise wouldn't have had. Now for me personally, I am a huge fan of the Velocity Frequent Flyer program. I love that they have so many reward seats in key destinations such as going to the USA and also to Europe. They have key partnerships with United Airways, Singapore Airways, and also Qatar. I very frequently see 9 reward seats on Singapore flights and also United flights. Similar things can be said when flying on Qatar. And another useful thing to note is that you can actually transfer your Velocity points to Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer program as well. Now this could be useful because if you had Amex points and you were going to transfer them to Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer program, you could transfer them to Velocity first, get that bonus transfer, and then transfer it onwards into KrisFlyer points. So in summary, there's a lot to like about this promo. But like everything, we always have to weigh up the pros and the cons to see if it's suitable for us. So now let's talk about what the bad things are about this promo. For me personally, and this is actually a really big deal, is that once you transfer your points into the Velocity Frequent Flyer program, you are stuck in that program, with the exception being Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer program. For me personally, I talk about it in almost every single video, the importance of earning Amex Platinum membership points, so you do have that flexibility of transferring your points to about 15 different airlines. And the reason that's so important is because sometimes airlines don't have the reward availability that you want, and another airline program will. The big drama that you have is once you make this transfer from your Amex points to Velocity, is you lose all that flexibility. For me personally, when we're talking about Amex versus Qantas versus Velocity points, I really favor the Amex points. For me personally, that is the biggest fault that I find in this promo, is because once we transfer our points into the Velocity Frequent Flyer program, they're stuck as Velocity Frequent Flyer program points. So now that we know what the good points are about this promo and also the bad points, let's talk about what I would do. Am I transferring all of my Amex points into the Velocity Frequent Flyer program in order to capitalize on this promo? Personally, I'm not. And the reason behind that is because I can't stress how important it is at having these Amex points that you can transfer to different airlines depending on which airline have the reward seat availability. If I had a flight that I wanted to book with Velocity Frequent Flyer and they had the reward seats available, I would transfer my points to Velocity in order to book that flight straight away. I would not transfer my points from Amex into Velocity and just have them sit there in my account. Having these membership points with the flexibility of transferring them is far too valuable as opposed to a 15% extra points top up. Even if this promo was running at 50%, I would probably still keep them as Amex Platinum membership points. I just think having them as velocity points is far too limiting. For example, if I have velocity points, I'm going to find it very difficult getting a flight to Dubai. I'm also going to find it very difficult getting a flight to Japan. I'm also going to find it very difficult getting a flight to Hong Kong or China. However, if I have these Amex points, getting to those destinations is no drama. I can do that at any time. So for me personally, that's what I'm doing. I'm not taking up on this promo unless I have a specific flight that I need to book right now. That is the only time that I would make this transfer, get those bonus points when I am immediately booking a flight. So what are you doing? Are you taking up this promo or are you sitting on your Amex points? I hope this video has given you some clarity as to what you should do and if you should take up this bonus point offer. If you like these sorts of videos, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a comment letting me know that this sort of content is helpful to you. If you need more help, check the links in the description. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.